All right, welcome back. If you're just joining me and us down here in the studio, I'm in conversation with Dr. Joseph Ochogwo and Barrister Chukwuma Eziala. And we're just talking about how there's a disconnect between, the people and the local government, because it seems like everybody's looking straight down to the federal government and the executive in that nature. Barrister Eziala, what do you want to say to that? And how does this play a greater role, in this push for peace, especially when it comes to the young people? You want to speak to that?
Yes, I think asking the citizens to go straight to the local governments and demand for dividends of democracy, yes, it's very important. It's good we do that. But look at the other aspects. Some time ago, a state governor was sacked because he was quarreling. At least we understand it, no matter the coloration, because he was quarreling with the man that installed him. One. And today, you see a lot of corruption. We have the EFCC, we have the police. These are agencies that should curb corruption. Nobody is doing it. So when Nigerians are demanding for good governance, when Nigerians are demanding for better services from the federal government, because they know the federal government has a way, or we have a way of getting whether the local government or the state government to perform. Now, if you say go to the local government, do you want us to go and burn the local governments? Today, how do you get the local government chairman? It is the state governors that install the local government chairman, because all of us know that there is no democracy in the local government. So if there is no democracy in the local government,
we cannot make all the general statements. We must be very careful. Go ahead, sir.
No, I am a lawyer, and we know. Tell me a single state where you have other parties winning the election. So if you say we can't statements, you just tell me. I mean, we can be playing to ourselves, we can be playing the volleyball if we want to, we can be playing the chess game, but we know there is no local government system in Nigeria. If you can tell me any single state where there is local government system, fine. But if you're not asking us to demand for, the only way you can demand for accountability, the only way you can demand them to do it is if you have the power to hire them. That means if you can vote and your vote counts, whether it's APC, whether it's PDP, whether it's Labour Party, there is no place where local government works. So that is number one. Now, when you also get to the states, and you're saying demand for the same thing you're demanding from the federal government from the states, you also see that it's also fractured. Why is it fractured? That is where we're...
All right, I think we lost. Okay, go ahead.
Right,
I think it's back.
See that things are working. Okay. So now in Abuja, where...
All right, let's come back to you. I think he's having some audio issues. We'll work on that. Basically, he's tying peace to accountability. He's tying peace to having somebody we can hold. And now the youths are almost disillusioned because they feel, hey, there is nobody we can hold responsible for what we are saying. How do you, who's pushing this peace agenda, how do you balance it in such a way that these youths, see that representation and understand really what their own place will be in the course of this, attainment of peace, and then, the balance with security?
I started by telling you that the economy is the structure upon which every other structure is built on. And I am one of the major person professing for a renewed hope. Because to me, the renewed hope agenda is more like a spiritual thing. And then when we talk about youth, you have to start from the individual level first and foremost. Individual level, one, to be a functional person, to be responsible, and be able to provide services, at your level. Everybody is a leader in the respective level. I mean, if you look back, I'm almost 50-something years, and all that. Back then, when there was breakdance, I knew a lot of people who left school, because of breakdance. I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying. So, one, it takes individual discipline, from the family level for you to be a functional youth. All of us strive to get employment. There were times that I didn't have employment. That's the truth. Even with my qualification, even with my master's degree, I recall a time my dad came and was praying for me and was even almost weeping. That's the truth. So if you check every average Nigerian from the 70s, I was reading somebody's biography in the 70s, you know, this whole issue too was there. So what I'm trying to say is that building a nation is not it's a marathon, it's not a quick race. It's not a 100-meter dash or a 1,000-meter race. It's a marathon. So we need to begin to build what my conviction, my personal conviction is that some of the structures are already in place. We're already making very good sacrifices in terms of issues around the removal of subsidy, which is what spike the inflations and all that, and lead to some of these distortions. You know, but once these policies begin to settle, we begin to see that a lot of things begin to come right. So I don't want youth to get disillusioned, you know, because of one challenges or the other. And it doesn't matter the society that you have. Every society, there must be challenge. If it's in the United States, in Sweden, anywhere you go, as long as there are human beings, there must be challenge. So what do we do? What we need to do, like what the kind of peace work we do, is to build the resilience capability and the capacity of individual youths and how they relate with others in the society and with the government to ensure that there is opportunity for them to use. Right. The present government, for example, there is the student loan, which never used to be here before. In those days, I used to see student loan board in Masha area in Surulere, but I never saw it happen. But now we see the functionality and people are assessing it. We have other social protection things, you know, to provide stopgap, you know, for people to move. And a whole lot of investments also in terms of a Nigerian foreign policy drive. A lot of the shuttle diplomacy you see, the president doing and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and other people within the foreign ministries that are doing to attract investment either in the area of power, in the area of gas, in the area of agriculture, in the area of food, and every other thing they are doing. I think that we need to give these people to benefit of the doubt. Right. The demand side must be able to provide some level of support to the supply side, for the supply side to effectively function, you know, to ensure that there is a balance in the society. All right, let's ensure there's a balance on the program today. Barrister Isela, you're going to have the final word in a minute or two. Tell us, where do we go from here? All right, I think that's where we're going to wrap up. Dr. Joseph, thank you very much for coming with your depth on this one. Thank you. And we're hoping that we can start to build that path to peace. Absolutely, absolutely. We need to build resilience, we need to build dedication, commitment, discipline, and a sense of responsibility at individual level, institutional level, you know, for us to do what we need to do and get our country to where we need to get it to.